The Metro, Steve, for a fantasy crime at a fantasy show.
Sue Perkins feels terrible after repeatedly misgendering Emma Darcy at House of the Dragon premiere.
Is Darcy a real name? Because that sounds posh as hell.
It does, doesn't it? Well,
I'm thinking Pride and Prejudice posh.
The proper noun's not the problem here, it's the pronoun. So Emma Darcy stars as one of the main characters. I've never heard of him.
Have you watched House of the Dragon?
I've just got
Never
the
heard of
pronouns
them or her?
That works, doesn't it?
You get yourself out of that one.
Yeah. But she interviewed... I've watched the original House of... No,
Dragon?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yes.
It's a Game of Thrones spin-off.
Yes.
She interviewed Emma and then interviewed Matt Smith. In the interview with Matt Smith, referred to Emma as she. Matt said, yeah, they are great, aren't they? And Sue was like, oh!
Yeah, but I'd be confused by that. If he starts saying they are great, I think he's talking about the dragons or something. Because then he's talking about plural.
And they are also great.
So why is... But this... So it was Matt Smith who had a go at...
So what you have here is a lesbian. Right. Sue Perkins is a lesbian.
Yes.
And you have a lesbian being chastised by a straight bloke about another straight woman.
Right.
Essentially.
Did he chastise?
Well, he sort of was like,
he just
they
was it a bit sneering?
They are.
The internet did more of the chastising.
And then afterwards, Sue Perkins went on and gave this grovelling apology. Oh, it was such a S-star mistake. I had lots of stuff going on and I wasn't as focused. But no excuses, though. These things happen and matter and I feel terrible. I'm a massive fan of their work.
She's talking about a woman. Of course she's going to say she. Why is this a big deal?
Also, I'd say to the progressive left woke people, if you're going after Sue Perkins, you've got the wrong battle on your hands. They're not the people you should be hating. Also, Sue surely spent most of the early 2000s being called Mel by mistake.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I think I've done that myself.
My first job, working on Light Lunch.
What?
As a, system...
You know everyone, Josh.
That was my job. That was my first job in TV back in the day. Guess who I was my runner with?
Go on.
Mr. T.
Mr. D?
No, the guy who hosts not X Factor and all that stuff. X Factor, who hosts Dermot O'Leary. He was a runner.
No.
We were runners together.
You were mates?
No.
No.
He didn't
like
go on
you.
to be far more successful. No, he's a very nice, charming guy. Anyway, but the point is, Sue, who's a lovely person, says, like, I'm sorry, and then this other person says, yeah, well, you should also apologise directly to him. She's like, oh, of course I will. It's like, don't prostrate yourself for them. And there's a lot of debate within the gender argument about whether you should referring to transgender people by their preferred sex, in terms of if they're trans women calling them she or whatever. But this for me is they're a they them. They them doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. It's an utterly false, made up mythology. Yeah, I don't feel bad about ever. I'm not going to refer to anyone as they them.
But this isn't
ever.
someone who's transitioned.
No. This is just a stupid identity because they've got short hair or they look slightly androgynous or whatever it is. And I don't care because it's totally made up and I will not go on with it in the tiniest iota.
So I hate
it so much.
This is the anger
thing. No, I mean, I hate
the anger thing.
No, the compelled speech thing. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. And
they would go, oh, what, you hate they them? Yeah, I hate the whole mythology, the nothingness of it. It's for people to think that they have a personality.
It's a fashion, it's a trend. It's like being a goth or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
There's nothing innate about this non-binary nonsense. Let's be absolutely honest about it. And this is a woman. And by the way, she hasn't complained. It sounds like it's just people online complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.